hit by the devastating earthquake and tsunami in 2011 and caused nuclear disaster. Well, we understand now that from the company that all workers at the Fukushima Daiichi power plant have been evacuated. That's what we have so far. But of course, we'll keep an eye on that because there will be a sense of nervousness around this area because of what happened in 2011. And a couple of years ago, you remember that some of the treated water has been released into the ocean, but there are many, many containers containing a lot of that water. And of course, there is still nuclear waste that's in the power plants that have been cooled down by this water. So as we understand it, the workers in the power plants have been told to evacuate or have tsunami waves and what kind of waves are hitting that area. But we already know that waves have arrived here in Japan in several areas in Hokkaido. And that the Chief Secretary, Hayashi Yashimasa, told a press conference that, again, reiterating that people should move to higher ground. And we also are hearing reports that railway companies have halted some of their train services in the tsunami, in the areas where the tsunami warning has been issued.
Yeah, Shaima, the Japan Chief Cabinet Secretary Hayashi, as you mentioned, saying there are no irregularities at nuclear facilities so far and no casualties have been damaged. Shaima, if I could just ask you quickly one more question. Obviously, Japan has a long history of big earthquakes. Can you talk us through exactly how the warning system works? Because it's really interesting, actually.
Yeah. It is. It's a very sophisticated warning system. It was actually very interesting you should ask that, because during the press conference, for example, just before I came on air, we were watching the different local channels, which of course, all of them now are on the tsunami warnings. But during the Meteorological Agency press conference, they were actually testing the warning sirens and the warning alerts so you could hear them. And we were wondering if this was our phones or on the TV. And so they're constantly testing those. They're constantly updating them. But the warning system is advisory, warning, and then it goes up. So and in terms of colors, it's yellow, red, and then purple. And really within minutes of this happening, you get these alerts quite quickly and the updates quite quickly as well. And so right now we've gone from warning, which is what we got on our phones earlier this morning, to we went from advisory, what we got earlier this morning, to warning. And that warning alert at this moment, it covers large swathes of Japan's east coast. So from Hokkaido, where we're seeing waves in the north, all the way down to Ogasawara Island. So it's a large area of that Pacific coastal line. And like I said, we get these updates quite regularly, and we get these warnings on our phones and, of course, on the local channels quite quickly.
Yeah, and we are seeing on our screens Hiru in Hokkaido, Japan, the waves coming into the ocean, quite vicious there. Shaima Khalil, we'll leave it there. Many thanks for bringing us